Rivers State still burns in our mind. What happened to the sense of shame? Or is this just an attempt to treat Nigerians as nothing? By John Egbezian Oshodi. This one na story, long talk. Okay. On Thursday, May 2nd, 2025, something deeper than a protest occurred at the EUI Center in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. It was not merely a political rejection or a civil show of disapproval. It was a collective rupture, an emotional outburst from women who could no longer watch their dignity be paraded, manipulated, and substituted. Videos shared widely on X by Port Harcourt socials captured the moment with striking clarity rows of seated women suddenly rising, turning their backs on the stage, and walking out of a government-sponsored event. Under the Renewed Hope initiative, their chants echoed like a thunderclap across the venue. We want Sim. We want Sim. It was not just a slogan, it was a demand, a declaration, a correction, a psychological protest. Who is that impostor? Iba's wife is addressing River's women. Who is she? Come on, pack your load, madam. We don't want you. We need Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu to come and address us. She's the one we have been waiting for. We don't need a stranger. We want Sim right now. Sim should come today, not tomorrow. Another protester outside the venue. Like really, I would not blame those women because they were expecting somebody else. And then you bring somebody else. I would not stay too if it was me. I will walk out. These very real statements. They were spontaneous indictment of a state being governed like a military outpost where local identity is replaced by federal command and community voices are drowned by executive overreach. Teresa Ibas was not rejected for who she is, but for what she represents exactly. Teresa Ibas is not the villain in this story. She is not the architect of the Rivers crisis, but in the minds of the women gathered at the venue, she became the symbol of political intrusion. Yes. What are you looking for? Even if they told you, probably your husband or Wike told you that, oh yeah, go there, let's see what the people will do. You shouldn't have. I know, you were the one that disgraced yourself, really. She's the one that called embarrassment for herself. The face of a federal hand reaching too far into a state that never called for help. This is a textbook example of symbolic displacement, a psychological condition where people reject not the individual but what the individual represents. In this case, the women were not rejecting a woman named Teresa. They were rejecting the erasure of their own democratic memory. Valerie Fubara, wife of the elected and now suspended governor, Siminalayi Fubara, remains the only first lady the people recognize. No amount of federal logistics or orchestrated programs can substitute the bond between the people and their chosen representative. Yes, so the Renewed Hope initiative might claim to empower women, but it fails to understand that women are not empowered by presence. They are empowered by recognition. This is where the larger question emerges. What happened to the sense of shame in governance? They don't have shame now. They don't have shame. In a functioning democracy, shame acts as a regulator. It tells those in power when to pause, when to reflect, when not to proceed. When public sentiment clearly rejects a path, shame becomes the moral stop sign. But they obviously do not have shame. Yet here we are, after massive protests by the Nigerian Labour Congress (NLC), condemnation by the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA), and increasing public outcry against the military-style occupation of Rivers State, and the federal government still proceeds to unveil Teresa Ibas like all is well. It begs the question, have Nigerian leaders grown so numb to public sentiment that even collective rejection no longer faces them? Or worse, are they so emboldened by impunity that they no longer care? Is the second one. They don't care. They do not. This isn't governance. It is psychological insult to drag out the wife of a federally imposed sole administrator after discarding the elected governor and installing military-like control is a level of political gaslighting that would be offensive in any society with a shred of democratic memory. The feminist psychology of this protest, when women says no, they speak for generations. Let us not reduce this protest to the actions of angry women that would be not only dismissive but dangerous. These women are society stabilizers, mothers, grandmothers, educators, traders, professionals. They are the ones who carry the emotional and cultural fabric of their communities. And where they rise in collective anger, something foundational has been violated. This event in Port Harcourt is a classic case of intergenerational resistance, a psychological act where the trauma of one political betrayal awakens the memory of others. These women were not just reacting to Teresa Ibas. They were reacting to the pain of being treated as voiceless, the, the rage of watching democracy mocked, the insult of being handed a new leader without consent. And they did not just reject the speaker, they reclaimed the space. This is what makes the walkout so significant. It was not a protest from outside, it was a revolt from within. They walked out not just of the hall, but out of the illusion that they are powerless, yes. We want him is more than a chant, it is a cry for democracy legitimacy. Let's be clear, this protest is not just about political preference. We want him is not a campaign slogan, it is a psychological cry for belonging, it is a defense of dignity. It is a reminder to the federal government that legitimacy cannot be forged by fiat. Similarly, whether suspended or not, represent the last vestige of electoral choice. In a state suffocating under federal appointment and backdoor declarations, is the psychological anchor of political identity. To remove him without consent, install a sole administrator without consultation, and then parade the administrator's wife before wounded citizens is a deep calculated act of erasure, but these women did not let it happen silently. They spoke. They chanted, they walked, they said, we will not be gaslight. They said, you cannot replace us with strangers. This is a real renewed hope resistance. Yes, so I really love what those women did. Because hope is not found in choreographed speeches. Hope is not in policy documents passed without consultation. Hope is in the fire that refuses to die, even when democracy is gagged and replaced with military-style order. Hope was in the voices of those women. Hope was in the footsteps echoing as they left the hall. Hope was in their insistence that Valerie Fubara remains their voice. Final reflections, Nigerians are watching. The world is watching. This event may seem like a localized protest to some, but it is not. It is a mirror of what is happening across Nigeria, and yes, people are really watching. They will say, oh, some people are putting Nigeria in bad light. They are the ones that are putting Nigeria in bad light. They are the ones. Look at it. Everybody is seeing what is going on. People are reading the news across the world, and they can see it. A people being governed without consent, women silenced, then expected to smile and clap, cultural memory being scrubbed and replaced with government branding. But the women of Rivers have issued warning: if you cannot govern with our voice, we will not govern with our silence. You can install a stranger, but you cannot replace a people. In psychology, we call this betrayal trauma, a condition where those trusted to protect us become the source of our harm. Yes, so, and betrayal from government, unlike individuals' betrayal, it affects the entire communities. Yes, it does. It really does. I don't know how you just invite somebody. Are you the governor's wife? Even if they told you to go, you should have said no. I can't go. I cannot go. You decide to go and embarrass yourself. So, my listeners, over to leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.